Girl, grab your popcorn because this tea is piping hot. Katt Williams and 50 Cent just came through with what they're calling Diddy's redemption plan, and trust me, it's wild. So, it looks like these two are not letting up on Diddy at all. Just days after Diddy's lawyers went public about pushing for a state pardon from President Trump, Katt Williams jumped straight into the mess. And girl, according to Katt, not only is Trump allegedly ready to hand Diddy that pardon because of his own ties to the Epstein files, but Diddy's also planning to write a book, launch a gospel label when he is out, and would stage one of the biggest philanthropy runs the media has ever seen. For context, y'all, the whole internet was left stunned when the court cleared Diddy of those heavy RICO charges, but still found him guilty of the lesser transportation of prostitution charge. The judges then set October 3rd as his sentencing date. But here's the part that had everyone's jaw on the floor. Eyewitnesses say the moment the judgment was read, Diddy dropped to his knees, reached out to his family, and told them right there in court that he was coming home soon. And baby, that left folks scratching their heads because he's still staring down 10 years behind bars. Now the drama didn't stop there, because right after the judgment was read, Diddy's legal team wasted no time filing for bail. But baby, Cassie's team clapped back hard, telling the court that Diddy wasn't just a flight risk, but also a straight-up security threat to the witnesses who testified against him. And guess what? The judges ate that argument right up. They ruled that letting him out before sentencing was way too risky and denied that bail request on the spot. Whew, talk about a shutdown. Just when fans thought they were on a countdown to Diddy's sentencing, his legal team dropped a bombshell in an exclusive interview with CNN. They revealed that they had actually reached out to President Trump about getting Diddy a state pardon, and y'all, that news sent the internet into a full meltdown. In the interview, Diddy's team even said, "It's my understanding that we've reached out and had conversations about a pardon. Combs is a very hopeful person, and I believe that he remains hopeful." Baby, the audacity. Now, here's the thing. While technically anyone can be granted a presidential pardon, fans made it loud and clear that Diddy shouldn't even be in the conversation. See, just because he beat the RICO case doesn't automatically mean he was innocent. It just meant the prosecution couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he was directly present. And because of that, a lot of people felt like giving him a pardon would basically be rewarding him for slipping through the cracks. So, yeah, fans were not here for it at all. So here's where it gets real messy. Y'all, weeks after CNN dropped that exclusive about Diddy's legal team reaching out to President Trump for a state pardon, Trump sat down with Newsmax and got hit with the big question. Was he really gonna grant Diddy that pardon? And y'all, this was his response.
Let me ask you, Mr. President, just about pardons. I've got three names for you. And the first one, look, the media didn't care about this story when Joe Biden was in office. Suddenly they care about this story again. Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Is clemency on the table for her in exchange for testimony?
I'm allowed to do it, but nobody's asked me to do it. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about the case, but I know I have the right to do it. I have the right to give pardons. I've given pardons to people before, but nobody's even asked me to do it.
Sean Diddy Combs?
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, you know, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard, you know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
Now listen, the minute that interview aired, the conspiracy theories started spiraling out of control. And one of the juiciest ones, that Diddy allegedly knows somebody tied to the Epstein files. And that alone could pressure President Trump into signing off on a pardon. Because let's be real, the last thing Trump would want is his name being exposed on that infamous list. And this theory isn't just pulled out of thin air either. Plenty of high-profile names have already hinted that Trump's name might allegedly be buried in those files. Even Elon Musk, during his messy feud with Trump, hopped on Twitter and boldly said, "Time to drop the bomb. Donald Trump is on the Epstein files, and that's why they haven't been made public." So now the internet is convinced the whole play was to force President Trump into giving Diddy that pardon. Okay, so y'all, It didn't take long before Katt Williams and Diddy's name slid right into this conversation, and this is straight up crazy. Word on the street is Katt told insiders that while Diddy might get sentenced in court, he's allegedly lined up for a state pardon from President Trump, meaning, yeah, he could get jail time on paper, but according to Katt, he won't actually spend a single day behind bars because Trump would overturn it. But hold up, it gets even juicier. Katt is claiming that once Diddy walks free, he's gonna try to clean up his image with one of the biggest philanthropy runs ever. We're talking massive charity donations and giving away the fortune he said he made from Bad Boy Records, all to win the people back. But behind the scenes, Katt says Diddy's real plan is revenge on everyone who spoke out or helped the feds bring him down. And if that wasn't enough, Katt dropped another bomb. He alleged Diddy never really sold off most of his companies. Instead, his friends bought them just to keep things looking clean, while Diddy still secretly calls the shots. His example, Revolt TV. Katt swears Diddy still owns it, and that the so-called new boss is just a placeholder covering for him after his scandals, as Diddy himself knew he was going to free at the end of the day, because those who put him in this situation only wanted the tapes he had in his possession and punish him with a slap in the wrist, which is the time he has spent locked up. But y'all, that's not even the end of it, because 50 Cent, who's already knee-deep working on that Diddy documentary, had his own 2 cents to add to the drama. According to insiders, 50 is actually on the same page as Katt Williams when it comes to Diddy allegedly getting that presidential pardon from Trump. But here's the twist. 50 thinks Diddy's next move would be to launch some kind of gospel label to make it look like he's a changed man. Now, don't get it twisted though, because 50 also believes that behind the Holy Act, Diddy would still be living that same wild lifestyle, holding those freak-offs with his inner circle like nothing ever happened. And on top of that, 50 claims Diddy's not about to let things slide. He's allegedly plotting to come for anybody who testified against him in court or teamed up with the feds to build the case that had him locked up for months, including Cassie, her husband, and her mother. Now here's the kicker, y'all, because even though Diddy's been publicly disgraced, he still has a solid crew of supporters in the music industry. From day one, they've been riding for him, insisting that everything that went down with Cassie was consensual. So if Diddy decides to slide back into that label boss role, the transition might actually be smoother than folks expect. And according to 50 Cent, that's exactly the play. He believes Diddy's gonna ride that wave, flip it into a whole lot of money, and remind people just how good he is at making deals. But here's where the concern comes in. 50 also thinks Diddy can't fully separate from his darker side, because as much as he knows how to make money, his heart, according to 50, is still locked on vengeance. 50 Cent wasn't done spilling either. He went on to claim that once Diddy's out, he's planning to drop a whole book packed with lies and fairy tales just to flip the script and control the narrative. According to 50, this book won't just gloss over the trial and that messy raid at his house, but it'll even try to rewrite everything from Cassie's lawsuit to what went down in the courtroom, painting himself as some kind of victim of a targeted attack. And girl, that's not all. 50 says Diddy is gearing up to land speaking gigs, maybe even cross over into motivational speaking, giving "I found God and turned my life around" vibes. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. This whole situation is beyond wild. The fact that both Katt Williams and 50 Cent are out here alleging that Diddy's gonna snag a presidential pardon from Trump, that's insane. Because if that actually happens, it means Diddy basically beat the whole case. And yeah, the bigger issue is what that sets up for the future. Like, are we really saying that having dirt on powerful people could become the new bargaining chip to dodge accountability? That's a dangerous precedent, and it's got folks seriously side-eyeing what's coming next. Katt Williams and 50 Cent's leaking of Diddy's redemption plan had fans talking, and they left comments saying, "If President Trump pardons Diddy, I will be mad because this guy is guilty as hop. Trump, he will continue to do what he did. Don't interfere with this case. This will be a great disappointment in you, President Trump. He's guilty and needs to go to jail. I feel so sorry for the victims. When you ask what took you so long to come forward, this is why. They have to relive their abuse, face their abuser, for it all to get swept under the rug. There is no justice. It seems justice in the U.S. is determined by the size of your bank account. If you a billionaire, you can get away with almost anything. If you are poor, you have to face prison time. So, do you think President Trump would pardon Diddy if he eventually gets sentenced to jail? Or do you think Diddy would spend time behind bars? Let me know what you think in the comments, then check out his next video.